You might be riding the wrong motorcycle even though you refuse to believe it. In this video, I'm gonna point out 8 different signs that you made the wrong choice. So if you have nothing to do, grab your favorite drink and stay with me. Welcome back. First, I want to clarify that I'm going to talk mostly from a traveling point of view. So if you have a motorcycle that is only for weekend fun, it's going to be a different story, but even though it might give you some useful information that might help you on the future choices, so it is not going to hurt if you watch it. Finding the best motorcycle is a very personal thing and it should be different for everyone. But what I noticed that is people love to be part of a large community group or pride. They want to feel this some kind of sense of security, or maybe some kind of nostalgic thoughts, or to be part of something big, to receive advice, help from people who already know about this model. And because of that, in many situations, they prefer to buy something that other people already have. In general, this is not a bad idea at all. At least you'll know the brand, the model, and you might receive some very useful advice from owners that already have this motorcycle, but only if the model is suitable for you and your type of trips. And this is the place or the moment where most of the people get confused. Nowadays, in the era of social media, it is so easy to find information for every brand and model. Hundreds of people will share their experience with specific problems or some things that you can fix very easy if you just got the information. Something that was impossible to have 20 years ago, right? The problem is just because something is great for me, because I am also part of this social media, does not automatically make it great for everyone. Let's take example this Tenere 700. I believe that this is the best motorcycle for me in my type of trips, but I travel alone. I am 185, a little above 6 foot, and sometimes I love to include some dirt roads on my trips. Also, this is the motorcycle that I can afford. What about someone who is 170 tall, rides with passenger and prefers only European highways? Well, even though I love this model, I'll say that there will be much better choices for him and his type of trips, right? I can give you many more examples like this, but I hope that you get the idea. Let me now tell you these 8 signs that I promised in the beginning of the video. If you need to lower your motorcycle because you're too short, a couple of centimeters here from the forks and from the linkage under your shock, you're not only changing the ergonomics, but also the whole idea of the model. So you make something different because you're too short. It is the same if you want to lift it a couple of centimeters up, because maybe the motorcycle is too small for you and just want to lift it a bit. It's absolutely the same story. On this point, many of you will disagree with me and will tell me that just because you lower it front and rear at the same time, it is equal and it will not make any changes in the ergonomics, but it is not exactly like that because many other factors are included. The speed that you ride at the moment, suspension travel, a specific angle for the forks, the force that is needed to compress the suspension, turning points, and many more. That's why some models are so easy to ride and others are not, because of this factor that most of the riders will never think of and they don't have to. On the other hand, if you ride a motorcycle that has some changes not made from the factory, you'll immediately notice, at least I feel it immediately, that something is wrong. I cannot tell you what, but I can tell you right now that something is wrong with this motorcycle because it does not work the way it should, if you understand what I mean. It is not only wrong, but also dangerous, because in many situations the motorcycle might not react the way it's supposed to be. So if it's too tall or too short for you, find something else. Number 2, it has too much power. If you need riding modes and a number of safety features to control your motorcycle, this is a clear indication that it is just not for you. I know that many won't accept this advice, but I really hope that at least a few people will listen and will make the right choice. Let me tell you an interesting story that happened to me in India. I met a guy with 150cc Indian brand Hero, and he was thinking to upgrade it to something different. And he said that he's gonna change it to 200cc, again Hero. And I said, man, why don't you change to something else like 450 or 500, because the difference between 150 and 200 is not that big and you're not gonna feel it really. And he said, because so far, for my experience, I rode only 150cc and I don't know will I be able to control larger or powerful motorcycle than that. At the beginning, I was thinking to convince him that it will be better, but then I thought that he's right. If you have the skills to control 150, why should go for something bigger? And this surprised me because in Europe, especially here in Bulgaria, if you say to someone that 150 it's okay for him, he'll say, no, after a few months I'll need more batteries to buy 1000. And what I see every single day is that people haven't got the skills to control even 250cc, but they jump on 1000 with all the safety system, and if you turn them off, they will crash on the same day. So this is the situation. If you cannot control it without all the safety system and riding modes, find something else. Number 3. You're afraid to leave the asphalt roads. So you bought an adventure motorcycle because you wanted a different experience, but now you're afraid to leave the asphalt roads. Many different reasons. It's too expensive, it's too heavy, I don't have the skills, or whatever. But all of these are clear indication that you just bought the wrong motorcycle. And you should go and find something else, something that you can afford and something that you can control. Number 4, you cannot do the maintenance by yourself. You don't have to be a mechanic, but you should be able to do at least some very basic simple things like changing the oil or brake pads or something like that. Because when you travel, you might need to do this stuff. You're not gonna be able to find a specific garage for your specific model everywhere around the world. Of course, only if you plan to travel with this motorcycle. So you don't have to be a mechanic, but these skills will be necessary. So if you cannot do it, if you cannot learn how to do it, or if the model is too complicated, change it. Go and find something else. Number 5, you cannot lift it alone. And not only once, but a number of times. And not only in perfect conditions. For example, on parking lot. When you're not tired, you can just grab it and lift it. No. In many different situations and riding conditions. For example, when it's cold, when it's rain, when it's muddy, when it's gravel or dirt road, when the conditions are a little bit different, when you'll be tired, you'll be probably dehydrated a little bit or freezing, or you might be even injured, because one of these situations will definitely happen on your trips. It's not will it happen, it's when it's gonna be happen. And when it's happening, you should have the power to lift your motorcycle alone, because from this situation may depend even your life. So it's very, very important. If you cannot do it, change the model, find something that is more suitable for you. Number 6, you're afraid to ride it in heavy traffic. Many different excuses. It is too expensive, it is too big and bulky, I don't have the riding skills, whatever. But all this is clear indication that this model is not for you. And you might argue and say, Pavlen, listen, the problem is the traffic, not the motorcycle. Well, I can advise to go and try again with smaller and lighter motorcycle. You'll see the difference and we're gonna talk again. Number 7, you're afraid to go to specific places or countries. The same story, it is too expensive, my insurance provider cannot cover this or that country. Well, you already limit yourself. So just because you made the wrong motorcycle choice, you limit yourself to visit and see so many different places. The motorcycle already dictates your life or the things that you're gonna see in your life. In my opinion, this is weird, but I might be wrong, and who am I to tell you what to do? Number 8, you bought your motorcycle on credit. So you did not have the money, but you went to the bank, took a credit, and now you have to pay it for whatever years you signed the contract. This is so important that I should have started with this, but anyway, I'm gonna tell you right now. If you can afford 150cc Chinese model, so be it. It will be much better if you have a motorcycle that you can afford, so you can spend the rest of the money traveling, instead of having this very expensive and luxury machine that will always stay in your garage. It will not only limit your adventures, but it will also limit your finances, not only for adventures, but for everything else. I know that this is hard to swallow, but I really hope that at least a few people will have a common sense even though common sense is not so common nowadays. So press like or dislike, whatever this video deserves, and if you subscribe, even better. See you in the next one. Ciao.